Week 12, part 2. We're back. Thanks for joining us. We have 3 more matchups to discuss and then a little trivia, and we'll send you on your way to get some turkey. All right, balls first and White Thunder. Phill, set us up for this one.
All right, yeah, a very exciting matchup of first and last place going on there. I really wish Kyle was here. I was hoping Kyle could talk about his team. Because I'm basically going to use the same line that I used from last week. He's got a 7% projected chance of victory. I'm only going to say one more thing about his team, only because it needs to be said. On a guy's team who's just been decimated all year, nothing's really gone right for him. Joe Burrow goes down. It looks like he's got to play Kirk Cousins this week. I guess it's better than nothing, but yeah, it's going to be rough for Kyle. And then getting into balls first, I mean, there's a reason why he's in first place, kind of dominating basically everybody he's been up against, except for that one little exception that I'm sure Drew will love to talk about. He's got Watson tomorrow at Detroit, so that'd be something interesting to watch. One thing that really stands out about his team, why he's doing so well, it's been the key to winning fantasy football leagues for as long as fantasy football leagues have existed. He has the number 1 and number 3 rated running back in our system. Cook is number 1. Henry is number 3. They are the only 2 players in the league with over 1,000 yards rushing right now. The next highest is J-Rob at 762. So those guys are so far ahead of everybody else rushing the ball in the league right now. They're also in the tops in touchdowns too. Cook's got 13. Henry's got 9. It's hard to lose when those guys are out there and putting the ball in the end zone. And then on top of that, the rich get richer. He's got Kelsey, who's over 140 more points than the closest tight end. So with all those things said, yeah, this should be a rout. If this one's not the blowout of the week, I will be shocked. This isn't really too exciting to talk about, to be honest with you. Balls first and a rout.
You want to put anything in there, Drew, about this team?
Yeah, I got a couple things. Only a couple things that stand out to me. I think it might be time for Kyle to get Michael Pittman Jr. in the lineup. He's been on fire the last 2 weeks. And maybe Dre Greenlaw. There's a couple guys I would swap out for him, but yeah, he's had a rough break this year with injuries, like Phill said. But he's got a lot to look forward to with draft picks and keepers, that's for sure. But yeah, just getting Michael Pittman in his lineup, I think should be his top priority. Mike, Mike's got a powerhouse team. The running backs are nasty. And to top it off, Kelsey. His tight end's like number 3 in the league in receiving.
Right.
And Deshaun Watson's getting hot too. So Mike in a blowout easily.
Yeah, for sure.
Hate to say that, but
I think the Bill O'Brien firing is helping Watson and those receivers. Just kind of looking at Kyle's team, just what was I going to say? It doesn't even hurt to put Valdez-Scantling for Kyle in there because he's getting a home run like every week. Or Rodgers trusts him to take shots. He had some ball security issues, but I got to question LaFleur on that. If you're not running like streaks to MVS, that's what he's for. Don't throw a bubble screen to him. That's on the coach. I don't blame the guy.
Thank you.
David Montgomery's coming back. We'll see how he is and how he plays. The Bears offense is just an enigma because they don't have an offensive line. So, I mean, it's really hard to evaluate anybody's talent when you're running behind like your 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th offensive linemen. So I don't think David Montgomery's very good, but we still don't know. So he could be if he gets hot and if the Bears figure something out, which I'm not putting faith in, like that could be a championship player for Mike as far as like putting him over the top, just kind of being that last piece to his puzzle. All right, so yeah, that looks like a big blowout. Too bad. I'll say this: we said we wanted Kyle to talk about this matchup. Too bad Mike's not here to talk about this matchup too. We miss you, man. All right, let's get to Drew. Drew, tell us about your matchup with Nate. another classic matchup. Nate, former champion against Drew, current champion.
I'm a little worried. I'm going to be honest. Nate's team scares me. I know his record doesn't really reflect that, but his team truly does scare me this week. Cooper Kupp's on fire. He's got Kamara. Gallman's been playing good. I'm actually very nervous because I have some decisions to make with some players. Yeah, I'm very nervous this week in our matchup. I think it could be an upset, honestly. I don't know what to do in my flex. My defense has been very spotty the last couple weeks. So yeah, I think he could upset me, honestly, and I wouldn't be surprised about it.
What do you all think, Phil? What do you say?
I think Drew is shocking me because he's kind of being humble. He's got the top projection so far for this week, so I think he's kind of playing a little humble right now. He's got a great team, obviously. One thing that I just talked about, the Balls first had like that classic lineup that always wins fantasy leagues where you get, 2 stud running backs. Well, Drew kind of has the new way to do it. You hear a lot of these fantasy experts kind of talking about maybe doing 0 RB draft strategies and things like that. I know that's not what Drew did, but it's kind of the way his team played out because he's so stacked at receiver. He's got Tyreek Hill, who's the number 1 receiver in our league. DK Metcalf, who's the number 4 receiver in our league. Both of those guys are 2 of only 5 players in the league with 9 or more receiving touchdowns. So, yeah, he's killing it at that wide receiver position, which is, a weakness for a lot of other teams. So that's a huge step up that he has in almost every matchup. And then it's not like he has 0 RB. He's got Jacobs. And Jacobs has a nice matchup against Atlanta. I know the travel, we've talked about it, that isn't as big of a deal when it comes to running backs, I don't feel. So I think he should be able to find the end zone and put up at least 75 yards. And, of course, he's got Mahomes. And I think, the kind of the flip side of what we were talking about earlier, that maybe Brady's got a prove-it game going against the new up-and-coming guy. I think it's kind of could be the same similar motivation for Mahomes to be like, hey, look, I'm out there against Tom Brady. I want to show that, I'm worthy of taking the reins as the new face of this league. On the dirt ball side, I'm not sure I'd take Matt Stafford this week. John already touched on it, that he has a banged-up hand. I think it's a good week to take Matt Ryan in there. And, Dirtballs always has a chance with Kamara because, like we always say, he's always in the game script. And they're against Denver, who's been awful the last several weeks. They're just letting people score on them left and right. Jacobs had a huge game against them a couple weeks ago. That is a blow-up spot for Kamara. I think that's the only thing that should make Drew nervous, though. I think, Drew should win this game fairly handily, even if Kamara has a blow-up game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree fairly handily. And my reasoning is health. I think Nate, like Drew said, Nate has a really awesome looking team, but they're beat up right now. Stafford has that hand injury. Godwin, I don't know if you guys watched, he's wearing like a cast on his hand, so he like with his finger. Let's see, Kamara. Here's a really concerning stat about Kamara. 0 targets last week. 0 targets, obviously 0 catches last week. And he only played, I believe I just heard it, 48% of the snaps. So he played fewer snaps than Latavius Murray. 0 targets from Taysom Hill. So moving forward, does that mean next year, let's say Breeze retires in the offseason, it's Taysom Hill's job. Obviously, they'll scheme and find ways to get to Kamara, but in the future, does he go from, being an 8 catch a game running back to a 3 or 4 catch a game running back, and his value would go way, way down. So that's something to consider, I think, for Nate. But obviously, you're not going to get rid of Kamara. I don't know what he'll do. And then I mean, he lost Saquon this year, so I mean, Nate gets a pass for having a tough record. He still has a nice team, but they're beat up right now. Drew, this is a cakewalk for you. I don't love. Let's see, Mahomes against Tampa. I mean, that's a little bit tough. Therefore, Tyreek Hill. Let's see, and then Kenyon Drake against New England. I still respect New England's defense a little bit, but and then looks like Swift is questionable. But Drew, you're going to find touchdowns at a rate that's going to be more than Nate. So I got you pretty handily. So that's that, and I think you guys are going to kind of like locking in your playoff spots and getting your rosters ready for that run in a couple weeks here. Anybody else want to say anything about that matchup? Drew, you're stacked. You have a power over some members of this league with your trades, and you've created a monster. So you got to feel good about that.
He's aggressive.
It's all right. All right,
I got a window with Mahomes.
Yeah, this is your window, right? This is your window. All right, so the Steel Reserve.
Me and Mike had that conversation.
Nice.
Sorry.
No, that's okay, man. Yep, this is his window. You got to be aggressive. Steel Reserves against Dom. Drew, you were coming at me for trying to offer me a trade, and I said, I'm not selling. I'm going to win my division. And to do that, to make myself not a liar, I must beat Dom this week. So just kind of looking at how this stacks up, Drew, you said you were nervous. Well, I'm terrified because if I lose, I am done. Kyler's dinged up, and that it starts and ends there. So it starts and ends with Kyler. Is he healthy? Can he still sling it? I've kind of been fearing this all year. He was scrambling. He got tackled like right on his shoulder, got up a little gimpy, and he was getting like the old massage on the sideline between series. Josh Allen has been playing good ball, and so that's Dom's quarterback. So I mean, it comes down to a quarterbacks in this matchup. Just looking at Dom's team, he's got real nice players, Michael Thomas and Calvin Ridley, but they're both questionable. So I've got to hope my receivers can score touchdowns. Allen Robinson and Mike Evans, they're going to be really touchdown dependent. Now it looks like Trubisky's going to get the start. Just that's such a wild card. Is he gonna just pump it into Allen Robinson, and how many of those balls are going to be catchable? Thank God Allen Robinson literally catches everything. And I got to get Mike Evans a red zone target. James Robinson, are we going to rest him because he's got to fight for humanity now? So maybe we'll rest him in this game, but I like it. And can Jonathan Taylor stay hot, guys? So that's the question. And I know I'll have my Zeke Elliott voodoo doll out. I beat Dom last time, and I got a lot of breaks, and I got good things happen to me, and great things did not happen to Dom. He's a little more healthy. He has a dude named Nick Chubb who is incredible, and I might pick Nick Chubb if I had to reassess my vote of who's going to represent humanity. Nothing's wrong with that choice. I don't know how to pick this. I guess I would lean towards Dom, but I will not go on to the Facebook poll that Dom inexplicably put up tonight to vote, even though Phill did. So, Phill, explain why you picked Dom to win this matchup.
Yeah, I didn't understand why he did that poll. That was kind of random, but I was like, I'll play.
Okay. It's okay.
I'll play into it a little bit, and I'm going to go on record right now anyways. So I was going to be on record on who I was going to pick anyways. So it wouldn't matter if I went on record a little earlier on the poll in our little Facebook group thing. So, look, this matchup is tight. If you look at the projections there, it's 11 points. We talked that my matchup was close at 16. This is even closer. I think this is definitely going to be the closest game of the week. There's a couple others that could sneak ahead, but this should be a really close game. And I mainly just focused in on two guys on each team, at the quarterback position and at the running back position. So, of course, Steel Reserves, John, you've got Kyler, and he's been awesome all year. Although he got banged up last week and didn't look as awesome in that second half. And he's got to go to New England. So that's that, again, West Coast to East Coast travel. And it's, Bill Belichick defense. And he's banged up. I think this is a spot where Kyler might not look like an MVP. Could have a little bit of a rough game. And, it'd be hard to blame him if it did happen with everything he's up against. On the flip side, Allen looks like he's been playing better again at quarterback position for Dom, and should be able to. I think he could win he's going to win the quarterback war this week, and that was the main reason I actually favored him, is because of that advantage at the quarterback position that you normally wouldn't expect going up against Kyler. And then the running back position, I focused in on J-Rob, of course, for John. He's got a tough matchup with Cleveland's run defense. So we'll see what they can do. And the thing that you always worry about with Robinson is if Jacksonville gets blown out, he's out of the game script. And I think that's something that certainly could happen. For Dom, I'm looking at Zeke, who Zeke has not been Zeke this year for the most part. Believe it or not, last week was his first 100-yard game. So hopefully that's something to say, get some momentum. He's got the national spotlight tomorrow. He hasn't had a touchdown since week 5. So I think he's going to break that, and I think he's going to get another 100-yard game. And I think, that's going to roll Dom to what I think is going to be a tight victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Drew, you got anything for this one?
I got a couple things. I know there's worry with Kyler against New England. I don't think you have anything to worry about. I think Kyler's a game changer. I think he'll put up his points against Bill Belichick and his vaunted defense. I do think that you ready for a bold prediction?
Yeah.
I think Scary Terry is going to have his coming out party. I think he's going to be on national television on Thanksgiving, and he's going to put on a show. People are going to know who that guy is after this weekend or after tomorrow. I think he's going to put on a show. I think it's going to be close. Obviously, Nick Chubb for Dom against Jacksonville's huge. I think it's going to be close to the matchup. Honestly, I think you're going to win, John. Honestly, I fell for the poll too, but I picked you after looking at the matchup.
Nice.
I keep hearing the argument about James Robinson being out of the game script to get blown out, but it's hard to go against that guy. Every week he's putting up points. I think, just look. The last time he's had a dud was week 5, and we're in week 12. He just puts up points in fantasy. So, and Jonathan Taylor's starting to look good. He looked awesome last week against Green Bay. So, yeah, I got you. I think it's going to be close, but I think you'll pull it out. Make things more interesting too in that division.
Hey! I just noticed something. It's rivalry week.
It's rivalry week.
Again.
I've had that up there since the divisions. Yeah, since the division games. Dude, here's the thing with James Robinson, like they don't play other running backs. Like he gets like 90% of the workload either way. And they Minshew loved the check down game. Luton's not doing it as much, but actually it's Mike Glennon this week. So that I'm nervous about that as far as like how's the new quarterback gonna affect things or the shitty quarterback or whatever. So anyway, awesome job, guys. Good job going through this stuff. It'd be fun to track how we were doing with our picks, but I'm not paying that much. I'm not taking those stats down. Oh, don't talk about stats.
Yeah, maybe next year we'll do something like that.
Maybe one of our subscribers could do it. All right. Hey, I have trivia. One trivia question. Here we go. And it always shocks me that 2-point conversions are worth 10 points in our league. That always shocks me. That I feel like that's a little high, but I don't know. I was probably part of setting that up. So successful 2-point conversions amount to a whopping 10 points in our scoring setup. Dalvin Cook leads the league with 3 successful 2-point conversions. So these are non-quarterbacks. So Dalvin Cook has 3 of them. Free agent Preston Williams is one of only 2 players to have 2 successful 2-pointers. So Preston Williams and somebody else. The other player he's the number 33 ranked running back. Name that running back. The only other player with 2 2-pointers this year.
J.K. Dobbins.
No, but I like that. That's a good guess. But no,
Did you say he's on a team or is he free agent?
he's on a team. I'll give you guys one clue in a little bit if you're not even close. Here's my clue. I kind of picked this question because I thought there was a chance Kyle Woods would be here. That's my clue.
I'm coming up with nothing.
Oh, that's right. I didn't have any notes on his team. That didn't help me at all.
All right, so Dalvin Cook, number one, he has 3. Preston Williams, who's on the IR and a free agent, he has 2. The other one, Green Bay Packers running back Jamal Williams. Second in the league with 2-pointers, member of the White Thunder. So there you go, Kyle. You could lead the league in 2-pointers if he gets a couple to end the year. Anybody else want to add any?
I traded him to Kyle.
Did you? All right, nice. So maybe you got some of those 10-pointers. So it's
no, I never started him.
It's 2 points, but it's it's almost half of a touchdown, and it's 2/3 of a passing touchdown. I don't know. Too much? Not enough?
Do you guys want to go for one more trivia?
Sure.
Yeah.
I had a couple of them queued up, but I'll go with this one. It's about rookies. So in our fantasy league, there are 4 teams that, by teams I mean like the Green Bay Packers, not like the Withers Winners. There's 4 teams that the leading scorer on that team for fantasy-wise is a rookie. Can you name those 4?
Okay. The Bengals with Joe Burrow.
Yep, and it's not even close. Even though he's not going to play the rest of the year, he still will hold that.
I would say definitely the Chargers with Herbert.
Yes, yep, that was the easiest one.
The Cowboys? No.
Who'd you say, Drew?
I said the Colts originally.
No, I actually was thinking that might be the case, but it wasn't.
I'm trying to think who the Colts' leading scorer is. Is the Colts' leading scorer Phillip Rivers?
It's Phillip Rivers. Yeah, it ended up being Phillip Rivers.
Rivers would be a good choice. All right. What rookies are blowing up?
Jacksonville?
Yep, Jacksonville, J-Rob.
Oh, yeah,
yep.
Nice. It wouldn't be Minnesota with Justin Jefferson.
No, Cook's their top scorer.
Oh, duh, Dalvin Cook. You're right.
There's one more.
Rookie.
And actually, I wasn't thinking this would be one of them. I was thinking there was gonna be 4, and for some reason I was thinking the Colts would be. I was underestimating Phillip Rivers.
Oh, I got it. Redskins, Antonio Gibson.
Yep. But he's only 32 points ahead of Scary Terry. So I don't know if he'll be able to hold that.
So I love Drew's prediction in that this is the coming out party, and I'm going to be all over that.
So
I've watched a couple games of Scary Terry, and he's awesome, man.
I can't believe that he was so underrated, or I didn't even know who he was coming out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
So he was a guy when we were doing our draft that I kept passing up on. I'd be scrolling down the things, and he'd be the top-rated guy. He was the top-rated guy. And I'm just like, yeah, but he's in Washington. He's got nobody to throw him the ball. So I just didn't take him. I obviously should have.
Yeah, I was texting, I think, with Ryan McQueen last night about him. And that's exactly imagine if he was on a team with a quarterback. Holy crap.
Yep.
Yeah. Drew, can you kind of lean forward so I can see the top of your hat there? Ah, there it is. Big dub from the Colts. Avoid the screen if you're a Packer fan. That might bring back some PTSD. Reach for the ball, Marquez. High and tight, right?
And how rewarding was that our big acquisition recovered that fumble, too? Our first-round pick, essentially, this year.
Oh, is that Buckner? Yeah. Here's the thing. If I was coaching, if I was coaching right now, I would take that clip and I'd be defensive line. This is why we run to the football, because there's no reason for a defensive tackle to be, at the numbers getting on a ball when on a bubble screen. So that's awesome hustle to see a pro do that. That's really cool.
If we have time for a question, your honest opinions on that series when there was 5 straight holding calls or on that drive, did it seem that was a bit ticky-tacky? I mean, I feel like you can call holding on almost every play in the NFL on the offensive line, and that just seemed
that's what I was gonna say too. Like, I think you can find holding almost anywhere. Granted, if it's at the point of attack or if it's egregious, like I don't like some of those receivers were coming across and doing bear hugs. That was terrible technique, dude.
mm-hmm.
Right? They're like doing these wham blocks from outside in, and they were like hugging. I don't know if Green Bay's like corners or safeties were coming in extra aggressive and filling like that, and that was causing them to do that, or I don't know why they were using that technique. So I'm saying the ones on the receivers, they were blatant. I don't quite remember. Right. I don't quite remember like the close-ups of. Some of the ones on the line could have gone either way, but there were some very blatant holds for sure.
Yeah, so they all were holds, but they don't always get called. And I think, refs in different situations call the game differently. That's not how it should be, but we all know that's how it is. And I think it was one of those things. The game was on the line, so that they were really like focusing in on that. They were really focusing in on pass interference probably, and also really focusing in on the holding. Those two things, I think those two calls get tightened up anytime it's crunch time where the game's on the line, and they don't want to get flack for saying, oh man, this guy held and that cost the Packers the game. And same thing if it's the other way, if there's a pass interference, they don't want to hear about, oh, the Packers pass interfered, Colts should have won, whatever the situation is. So I think the referees kind of get a little whistle happy sometimes in those situations.
But Drew, like to your defense, as the great Charles Oakley once said, ball don't lie. So maybe the Packers were getting some breaks, and ball don't lie, and popped out of Valdez-Scantling's hands into the Colts, and everything was righted in the world. So there you go.
Yep.
Dude, here's the thing. I thought the Colts weren't that good when they beat the Bears, because the Bears are just god-awful, and it was like a 21-7 game or whatever. But Phillip Rivers was just chucking it and slinging it like I haven't seen him do in a while. And so, dude, that team has a chance moving forward to make a lot of noise. So that's pretty cool. That was exciting.
That was a game of like two different halves. Green Bay looked pretty good in the first half, and I thought – that was the way that game was going to go. And the second half, Green Bay, did everything wrong, basically, minus the drive at the end to, send it to overtime. But even that, they did wrong. They had so many opportunities to run the ball on 3rd and shorts throughout the game. And just, I think LaFleur probably had his worst game of the year by far. Their execution was not a top NFL team that week, in the second half anyways. They gave that game away. It was sickening.
Colts played really, really well, man. Colts played well, too.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to take anything away from the Colts. Yeah. The Colts took it from them, but
okay. Who do you guys have tomorrow? Let's see. First game, Houston and the Lions.
Houston.
Is it
probably Houston?
I was reading this could possibly be Matt Patricia's last game, so who knows? And then it's Washington and Dallas. Does Dallas stay playing a little bit better?
Washington.
Yeah, I'll go out on a limb. I'll go with Dallas.
All right, nice. I think Alex Smith has been playing really good balls too, so I'm gonna lean Washington. All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving, fellas, and thanks for coming on. Phill and Drew.
Yeah, enjoy your turkey.
Enjoy your turkey. We're actually having ham. I'm going zigging and zagging when others zig. We're having ham. So
wow.
Yeah. The butt.
That's right. Got a big butt. Gonna put it in the oven tomorrow.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, guys. This was fun. Good luck. Stay healthy. Drew, good luck in the playoffs. Phill, maybe we can meet again in the consolation.
Yep.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving. Peace.
Take care.